Good evening and thank you for being with us. It started as a relaxing Caribbean vacation, but for two Thunder Bay women, their dream trip to the Dominican Republic quickly turned into a nightmare that nearly cost them their lives.
The pair allege they were sexually assaulted by employees at the Bahia Principe San Juan resort. And when they reported the incident, they also say they were shot at and nearly killed. Ryan Benazzo spoke to the women who have asked not to be identified publicly.
They look like pictures pulled straight out of a travel magazine. But for two Thunder Bay women, the beautifully staged photographs hide the terrifying truth. It all began just over a week ago when they arrived at the Bahia Principe San Juan on January 1st. They met a bartender named Eddie. He seemed friendly enough, but the women repeatedly declined his request to show them around town, having already been warned of the dangers of leaving the resort.
Because we heard if you leave the resort, then that's when you can get into trouble.
Unfortunately, their trouble was only just beginning, and it was about to play out right in their hotel room. The afternoon of January 3rd, one of the women, we'll call her Jane, was showering before dinner when the other woman, who we'll refer to as Sarah, heard a knock at the door. It was Eddie, along with another staff member, and they quickly turned violent. The men pushed their way in. They dragged Jane out of the shower and threw her onto the bed. Eddie then grabbed Sarah and forced her into the bathroom.
And I could hear her screaming, like, no, no, get off me, no, get off me. So then I started running to the balcony, and it was still daylight. People were, like, outside walking to dinner, and then they kind of, like, everyone was kind of, like, looking up, and I was screaming, and I guess, like, it scared those guys or whatever, and they were, like, they booked it out of our room. They started running out of our room.
The women were scared to report the incident, but some other guests the pair had befriended on the trip convinced them to tell security.
I don't know if they didn't understand us or what. They didn't take us seriously.
Eventually, hotel management did listen to the women's story. Eddie was fired, but not the second man, whom the women could not identify. Jane and Sarah spent the next few days with some new friends they'd met, and all seemed well, until after the friends had gone home and they were left alone once again. In the middle of the night, they heard their door open. Fortunately, they had locked it using the security chain.
And they're banging at the door, banging
we
at the door.
could see their hands, like,
trying to
opening the lock, like.
And when the women retreated to their second-story balcony, the situation grew even more dire.
And there was a security guard just pacing underneath our balcony. And he looked up and he went into his pocket, and I saw him go like this. And I saw a gun, and then we just grabbed each other and, like, went to the very back of the balcony and just hit the floor. And then, like, seconds later, we heard 3 really loud gunshots. And then all the patio doors just shattered on top of us. And I honestly thought we were gonna die.
Once again, the attackers were scared off. According to the pair, not only did resort staff refuse to call police, they refused to let the women use the hotel phone to contact the authorities on their own. Eventually, though, police were notified, but little was done to try to find the men responsible. Now, finally back home, they hope others will heed their warning.
Don't go there. Don't go. I wouldn't go to Dominican, anywhere in Dominican. I know there are flights leaving there, like, in the next few days. I've heard of, like, a bunch of people going to that exact same resort. And, like,
now the pair are just trying to put the painful ordeal behind them. They feel extremely fortunate to be alive. They know others may not be so lucky. Ryan Benazzo, TBT News.
Efforts to contact management at the Bahia Principe San Juan resort were unsuccessful. The local RCMP says they've been made aware of the situation and are waiting to speak to the women themselves.